Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. We are back for yet another trucking vlog. We are finishing off the load that we started in the last video, and that is a load that is delivering to Portland first, and then it's a two-stop delivery, and our second stop is in Sumner, Washington. So this is the furthest apart I've ever had a two-stop delivery be, so that'll be kind of interesting. And then I do have to get DEF first, so that's what I'm doing right now. And then what I was gonna say, I started to say it and then stopped for some reason and said something else, but I also have my next two loads planned out for me already. I don't know if I'm gonna record them or not, but we will see. I'm considering it. I'm doing that thing where I'm starting to fall behind. I've got like, I think I just uploaded vlog 16, and I think this is going to be vlog 20 or something like that. So I don't know, I'm starting to fall a little behind, but I also, on my next like load, I may have a bunch of extra time, so I don't know. We'll have to see what happens, but either way, I'm recording this one, so that's what matters. We'll focus on this one first. So this is going to be another GoPro only video, but that means you guys will get to hear me talk for a bit, and you'll get to see me do my backs at both of the facilities that we're delivering to today, and pick up from shippers potentially and stuff like that. So either way, first up on the list is to get DEF, so I am going to go ahead and do that, and then I will be back with you guys once we're on the road. Alright, so our DEF stop actually wasn't open anymore. I guess it got closed because I took too long from when it was dispatched to me to now. So that's fine. I'm going to be back by the yard probably later today. So with that being the case, I'll just be able to get DEF then. So I'm not upset about it. I mean, I got a half a tank of DEF, so that'll definitely last me today for today. I'm only going a few hundred miles today, so shouldn't be too bad. And that'll actually kind of work out nice, because then I can only, I can top off once. I guess it wouldn't really matter. I was already at the fuel island, but whatever. Point is, not a big deal. But if you can see the gauge in the camera shot, and you're like, hey, wait a minute, I thought he said he was getting DEF. Why is he at half a tank? Now you know why. All right, so we are now getting on to I-5. We're heading to Portland. We have only got about Google Maps says 50 minutes, so in the truck it'll probably be about an hour. So we got about an hour drive. We're gonna get there about 6:12. We're gonna be a little early for our delivery. Our delivery time is 06:30. So we are looking good. There's no traffic as of right now, but if there is, then I guess we'll see. And hopefully that if there is any traffic, it won't make us late. All right, I will catch up with you guys shortly. All right, we are now in Portland. It is still dark outside, which I'm actually glad for, because this is one of my favorite views in Portland when it's still dark outside. I don't know how well it'll show up on camera, but it is so cool seeing all the lights and everything, and like all the bridges lit up, and the reflections in the water from the reflections on the river. Like, it's just such a sick view. This is, I think, one of the taller bridges in Portland, so it kind of gives you a pretty solid view of everything, which is why it's one of my favorite views. It's pretty cool. Again, don't know how well it'll show up on camera, but hopefully it's at least decent enough for you to get an idea. Here somewhat soon, I am going to be passing where I used to work, and I don't know if I've ever talked about it during my trucking vlogs. I know I've talked about it on the channel before. I just can't remember if it was in a trucking vlog or if it was before my trucking vlogs. Either way, I know that there's a lot of new people that have started watching recently, so just for anyone that doesn't know, I'll catch up a little bit. So I used to work in sales. I did sales for a while and absolutely hated it. I guess I shouldn't say that. I enjoyed it at first and then very quickly grew to hate it. I don't know. There was something about it I didn't like. I didn't like trying to, I don't know. it's hard to describe, but basically, like, it made me feel like a bad person. And that's not to say that if you are in sales that you are a bad person. I don't believe that at all. I believe that you can be good people and still be in sales. But I could not make it work. I could not make being a good person and being in sales, being in sales work. So, I, at one point on my way to an appointment for my sales job, I stopped somewhere and there was a really pretty view, and I had already kind of decided that I was probably going to quit soon, but that view, I parked, looked at the view, and I was like, man, I would really love to drive for work, you know? Like, I've always loved driving, always wanted to do it. Like, when I was younger, I wanted to be a truck driver, and then, you know, I've always played American Truck Simulator and always thought it would be cool to be a truck driver, but, like, people kept telling me, like, not to do it, you know, because of, you know, the dangers involved and, like, being away from home and stuff like that. And, you know, those things are true. This job is still quite dangerous, and being away from home does suck. But it was parking that day and seeing that view that, like, made me decide, like, okay, I need to drive for work. Like, that is, I feel like that's what I was born to do, you know? Like, I need to find something, even if it's just like a delivery job or, you know, something that, just something that gets me to drive, and, like, I can drive a company vehicle and whatever. Because with that job, I did drive a lot. It's just I wasn't getting paid for the driving, and it was a fully commission-based job, so, like, I could drive for 4 hours somewhere and then not sell it, and then just have wasted a ton of gas money and, you know, the maintenance money for the car and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, I called my wife and I was like, hey, if I don't sell this next job, I'm gonna quit. And she said, you know, okay, sounds good, because she had been kind of encouraging me to quit because she saw how miserable I was. So she was like, yeah, sounds like a great plan. So sure enough, I went and did it, and didn't sell it. It was a fun appointment though, so I was at least thankful for that. People were really cool, property was cool, but yeah, didn't sell it. So on the way back home, I parked somewhere. As soon as I had phone service, I parked somewhere, called my manager, and I said, hey, can't do this anymore. I'm losing, you know, more money than I'm making, and I just don't want to do this. I'm miserable. I'm working like 14 hours a day, and at the moment, I'm not making any money, you know? So I quit and then started applying for driving jobs, and ended up getting a job as an Amazon delivery driver out of Hillsboro. And that was just like normal, what they call ZL delivery. So that's like your normal delivery people that most of you will see, the people that deliver like your small packages and, you know, like phone cases and stuff like that. And then my company explained that they had what was called XL delivery as well, out of a Portland facility. And at the time I lived in Newburgh, but we were moving to Portland at like the beginning of the year. And this was I started working for them in October. So once I moved to the new place, I you know, asked to switch, and they said yes, and that got me driving like bigger box trucks and got me driving further. So with the ZL deliveries, you would usually drive like short, you know, you would drive like 20 or 30 minutes out to a neighborhood, and then you'd spend the whole day just driving through that neighborhood. You probably wouldn't do any more than 2 minutes of driving between any stops. Whereas with XL deliveries, you would drive sometimes like an hour between stops. So it was that kind of one step closer to truck driving, and also you had to load up at a dock and stuff like that, as opposed to just like loading your van like just in a parking lot basically. So that was the kind of stepping stone for me. And the facility, the XL facility, is actually right here. So I would see trucks going by, because there's a huge industrial area, so I'd see trucks going by like all day long. And so yeah, here it is. It's right, you can see all the Amazon trailers. It was this whole big building, so I would load up at the docks back there, and then you know, go out and do my route for the day. But yeah, I used to commute to here every day for, well, not every day, 4 days a week at one point, and 3 days a week. And I would commute here for work. And I did really like that job. The people definitely made the job better. I really loved all the people that I worked with, and I had, with the XL deliveries, it's big packages, so you have to have a helper with you, and my helper was super cool. So I do admit that there are certain days where I miss that job, but I love this job every day, whereas that job I only loved some days. So definitely happy that I made the switch, and happy that I'm doing this job now, and now I am one of the trucks that is driving by, you know. So it's just cool to, like, we do a lot of, I do a lot of loads where I pick up or deliver to this area. So it's always cool driving by and thinking, like, yeah, I remember, like, being there and seeing the trucks go by and being like, man, I can't wait to do that someday, you know. And now it is that someday, and I am doing that. So yeah. All right, we are almost to our first stop, so I will see you guys there in just a minute. All right, so I just pulled up and it tells me to call a certain number before entering, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so I called. Even though I'm early, they said I'm all good. They told me to park along the curb, which is not easy to do because this side is full already. So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and park along that side. Well, I don't know, I guess I'll just have to go back further. So we will just go ahead and do that, unless she was talking about a curb inside, but I don't know. I'm just gonna go ahead and back up, and I'll just park back here behind these other guys, and then we'll go in and check into the office. Oh, okay, I think she means that curb. Okay, I think we're good. I don't think I actually have to back up. I think she means along the curb right here. Hopefully. Hopefully that's what she means. Okay, let's go check in. Apparently, my appointment time got changed, and I was not notified. So my appointment time is actually not until 11:30, and it is, like I said, currently like a little before 6:30. Thankfully, they are gonna let me back into a dock now. They did say, though, that they might not get to me until later. They might not get to me until closer to my appointment time. So we'll have to see. Either way, my next appointment is still apparently at 12:30, so they have called my next stop and told them, you know, because it's the same company, it's another Martin Brower. So they called them and said, hey, this guy's appointment for, you know, here changed, so just letting you know, he's probably not going to make it there at 12:30. And they said, okay, sounds good. And then she said she's going to send an email to them when I leave from here. So we are all good. We are backing into door number 3, which is right there. It's a little bit of a small lot, so this might be kind of interesting. Also, I am a silly goose, and I, you know, opened my compartment, my side compartment for my truck when I stopped to get DEF, you know, because that's where my gloves are. And then, well, I didn't end up getting DEF, so I didn't close I didn't like grab anything from the door, so therefore I didn't close the door. So I drove all the way here with that little door open, and I went and looked, and I didn't notice anything missing. So that's good, and nothing was like soaking wet. So I think we're all good, but I still definitely feel like a dummy. And wanted to share that with you guys. Alright, we're at a little bit of a weird angle, so I'm just gonna get straightened out here. And then this place is kind of interesting, so they have us back up towards the door, and then They don't have us break the seal or anything. We back up to the door, and then like once we're all lined up and everything, we actually pull forward so that there's enough room behind the truck for them to break the seal and open the doors themselves. And yeah, and then they do all that themselves, I guess. So this is as far as we go for now. I don't bump the dock or anything. I wait for them to come out and tell me that they're breaking the seal and everything, and then we do that, and then we back the rest of the way out. So I do have to get my lock off though, so I'm gonna go ahead and go do that. Well, I know this is probably silly, but I don't want to get out of my truck and go take the lock off, because I'm afraid somebody's gonna come out and be like, no, don't cut the seal, you know, because that's what they're gonna think I'm doing. So I think I'm actually just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait, and then when they come out to break the seal, that's when I'll get the lock off. But yeah, either way, we're here, we're at the dock, and I guess I'll see you guys when we're starting to get unloaded or something. One of these other facilities must have an alarm going off or something. It sounds hilarious. Oh, it stopped. But you guys had to hear it. Okay, a guy came out, cut the seal, I took the lock off, opened the doors, and then backed up to the door, so you can see we now have a red light. It is now light outside, but it is still way earlier than my adjusted appointment time. Again, my adjusted appointment time was 11:30 and it is 7:25, so they did still get me in early. I don't know how long it'll take them to unload. That was something she said. She said I may like actually back up to the door and it still not be that they're unloading me yet. Whatever the case, it's fine. I'm able to work on stuff on my computer and catch up on some of these vlogs, so honestly it's kind of working out in my favor in a way. I also got to go to the bathroom, which was very nice. I had been holding it, waiting for somebody to come out so I could ask them if they had a bathroom here. And I'm glad I asked, because I would have never found it. It was a porta potty like tucked way back, so like you go around the building here, and the building goes all the way back, and then it's like tucked in the very far back corner, like caddy corner from the building. So I would have never found it. So I'm glad I asked, and I have now gone to the bathroom. It was very cold, but it was also really funny. I went in there like right at the perfect timing to where it was dark when I went in and light when I came out. And I was only in there for, 2 or 3 minutes or whatever. But it was really funny that I went in and it was dark and came out and it was light. So I thought that was pretty funny. But anyways, we're getting unloaded and I'll see you guys once we're done. Okay, I guess they are done. I never even felt them unloading it, and it is only 7:30. It was 6 minutes after I recorded that last clip. I just poured myself cereal too, because I was like, okay, they haven't even started unloading me yet, so like, we're good. But yeah, they are already done. He just came out with my paperwork and a new seal, and so now I'm gonna pull forward, close my doors, put on the new seal, and then we'll probably go out to the main road, and then send our messages and whatnot, and then oh, I forgot to change my duty status. Go out and send all our messages and whatnot, and then we'll get driving to our next place. And I would assume that with it being 7:30, we are going to make it on time, so that's sweet. Okay, we have sent our messages, and I am going to get on the road. I probably won't really record much unless I see things that are interesting, so let's get moving. Looks like we got kind of lucky, but also a little unlucky, because you know me and how much I like trains. But it looks like we just are about to miss a train. So the head of it just went by off to my right here, and I can see it goes across this roadway up ahead. But if the front of it was all the way back there, then I assume it's probably almost to the end over here. And I remember this being the case from when I did work over here at Amazon, that yeah, every morning there's a grain train that goes by, and every evening there's a grain train that goes by. I'm assuming one loaded and one empty. I don't know which way is which. I know there's a grain facility over there, but I don't know if they, you know, the trains deliver to that grain facility or pick up from that grain facility. Or maybe it's both. Maybe there's loaded with one type of product on the way in and another type of product on the way out. But either way, I remember that from when I worked over here. And then there's also like there's a bunch of facilities over here with rail service. So a few times a day, a like short little, you know, train that was switching from one yard, you know, train cars from one yard or from one facility to another or whatever would go by. But we caught the grain train, which is the only like long train that goes by. And sure enough, there's the end of it right there, just like I said. So yeah. Looks like we got another May driver coming up too, probably from one of the Georgia Pacifics. But there's our first exciting thing 5 minutes into the drive. Or at least exciting to me, maybe not to anybody else. I just passed a weigh station, and that reminded me that I forgot to tell you guys that I got my first inspection in California the other, well, I say the other day, but it was more like 2 weeks ago now. But either way, yeah, the like weigh station kind of near Redding. I think it's like just south of Redding. I got pulled into the scale, and then when I was pulling across the scale, it turned up with a yellow arrow that said, you know, and a signboard that said like pull around to bay 3 for an inspection or something. And it was just like a basic inspection. It wasn't like a super in-depth one or anything. Like she didn't even check my logs or anything, like she didn't make sure I had my permit book. It was purely an exterior, like a vehicle inspection, and that was it. So basically, like for anyone that doesn't truck or has never gotten an inspection or anything, she basically just like pre-tripped the truck, essentially. She like opened the hood, she checked all the stuff in the engine bay, fluid levels, you know, oil, all that kind of stuff. And then she went around to all the tires and hit them with the mallet and looked underneath and made sure everything looked good. She, you know, made sure all the lights and stuff work. And then she went down into the tunnel underneath the truck and had me like step on the brakes and everything, made sure my brakes all worked and all that kind of stuff. I think in total I was probably in the bay for maybe 30 to 45 minutes. So it wasn't super long, but also wasn't just like a quick in and out. And I passed the inspection. I didn't have any markdowns or anything, which makes sense considering I pre-trip my truck and trailer every morning. So that was good. And yeah, I totally forgot to tell you guys about it. I think because of how smooth it went, that's probably why I forgot. So I'm glad I remembered now at least. But yeah, so I've got a green sticker over there now, I think you can see, that indicates that I have been inspected recently. And I sent in the paperwork to the company because what May does is anytime you get an inspection, if you pass the inspection and then scan in the paperwork, you get like $25 or something. So I did that, and I believe I got my $25. I actually don't know for sure, but either way, it was kind of a cool experience, not gonna lie. I think I've got a picture from it too. I real quick, while she was like putting in my paperwork and stuff, I asked if I could take a picture, and she was like, yeah, of course. She was super nice. And I gotta be honest, so I when I was with my mentor, we also got an inspection, and those guys were also super nice, the people at that did that inspection. So I have yet to have a bad experience actually with the like California Highway Patrol inspection people, or I don't know if they work for I guess they do work for the California Highway Patrol. Either way, yeah, they were nice, and I think that's all I gotta say about it. Don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but we've got another 2 trains. We've got one going northbound right there, and then the southbound is about to come up right there. Pretty cool. Both manifests. There also were a couple trains stopped earlier on, but I didn't record those, obviously. Oh, and some sort of emergency vehicle off this way. fire chief or something. Lots going on, lots going on. Oh, another. Okay, that's the actual fire truck. That checks out. Interesting. I didn't see anything, but probably back up the mountain. Oh, and another emergency vehicle. That one's a cop. Oh, that one's getting on the freeway though. Is it? Maybe not. No, it is not. I feel like it would have come around that corner by now. Interesting. I wonder what happened. A fire chief, a fire truck, and a police car. Okay, we ended up getting here about an hour early. However, they are willing to take us. They said that they're all ready and everything. Again, super nice receiving person. And we are going to dock 12. So, I just pull in here. And then she said it's like back on the right-hand side or something like that. Yeah, they're on the right side of the building, not the right-hand side. All right. So, let's see how this goes. And same thing as the last place, she said back, you know, line up with the dock, but do not break the seal. So I will leave the seal on. Man, they've got a lot of trailers here. It was the same at the last place. They were just like overflowing with trailers. And as I was leaving, I saw a yard dog pulling up with another trailer. So even with an off-site lot, they still were packed. And this place, I don't know if they've got an off-site lot or not, but oh, did I go to the right place? I saw dock 10. Oh, there. Okay. Yeah, there's dock 12. Okay. Oh, I did not set myself up good for this then because of not knowing where it was. That's okay. I think I can still make this work. I can definitely still make that work. Oh, maybe not. Oh, maybe so. Yeah, okay, I can. Easy. I don't know why I didn't think I could. Alright, I am gonna have to pull forward to get lined up straight, I think. Oh, I might have let that walk away a little too much. No, maybe not. I don't know, man. I keep thinking I'm screwing up, and then it ends up being totally fine. Wow, yeah, like totally fine. I think we're actually just about perfect. Make sure I get my wheels straight here, because I think I am about as perfectly lined up as I could be. I really just got to tend into it now. But again, she said not to back all the way up to into the dock, so I think I'm gonna pull forward a little bit, get out, see how far away from the door I am, and then stop. But either way, there's a lot of people around. I don't know, this is like a you know, proper customer, so I want to be sure I'm doing everything right. So I'm gonna take the camera off. I'll let you guys know what happened. Okay, yeah, same thing as the last place. The person that came out to like break the seal on my trailer and everything, again, super nice. Like this guy even like helped me open the doors. I went back there to like open the doors after he broke the seal, and he was already opening both, and he just handed me one of the doors while he opened the other one. and then you know, like kind of guided me back into the dock. Not like guided me, but you know, like let me know how close I was getting and everything, and then told me when to like slow down so that I didn't like slam the dock super hard. So yeah, super cool guy, and I definitely I have enjoyed both of my experiences delivering here, like to this company. Obviously I haven't delivered here twice. I've delivered to the same company twice today. I think that makes sense. Okay, we are done at the receiver, and we've got a bit of an interesting situation getting out of here because I have to go right, but this guy is in my way. I don't know if I can make that turn with that truck there. I'm gonna try, but I might just have to back on out of this. Okay. Well, I'm gonna definitely be blocking the road for a minute. That's for sure. Is tight. I don't know if I'm gonna make that. Okay, I think I'm gonna make that. Man, just barely. All right, well that was interesting. Okay, we made it out, despite that being a bit sketchy. Okay, so now we are on our way to Olympia. Our plans have changed a little bit. We were supposed to take a load from Olympia down to Halsey, and then from Halsey we were going to pick up a new load that went down to the Bay Area. Now we are picking up a load, still picking up a load in Olympia, but we are dropping it in Brooks, and that's it. We're just dropping it in Brooks, and then I'm assuming tomorrow, because our load that goes from Halsey down to the Bay Area isn't supposed to pick up until tomorrow at noon, I think. So we will probably park in Brooks again, go home for the night, which is awesome. Love when I get to go home for the night multiple nights in a row. And then we'll do that load down to the Bay Area. But we've got a fairly chill rest of the day, hopefully. Now again, Olympia is the place where I have yet to successfully pick up a load from, so I guess we'll see how that goes. But hopefully this is the first time that it'll go well, because I would love to be able to just go in there, get my load, and move on. We are just about to the shipper. We've got this awful right-hand turn first. I hate this turn. Every time I've been down here, I get to this turn and I'm like, ugh, you know, I dread it. It's really not that bad, but it's just not ideal. It's very hard to not hit the curb. Like that time, I hit the curb. Like, not bad. I didn't like slam into it or anything, but like I dragged the tires across it a little bit, and like I went as far wide as I could. So it's just a little annoying of a turn, but either way, we are almost here, and they have a gate code here, so I am not going to record, but I will talk to you guys when I can. Okay, I have parked. I'm just backed into a spot where they dropped the empties, because that way, if they do have my load for me, I can just slide my tandems, drop the trailer, and we're all good to go. And if they don't have the load for me, well then I'm in a spot that's easy to get out of and can just do whatever the company decides to have me do instead. So I'm gonna go check in, see if they actually have a load for me this time. You guys are not gonna believe this, but they actually did have my load. So we're gonna drop this empty and then go pick up the new loaded trailer. And what's crazy, just like a weird coincidence, I'm dropping trailer 7015 and the new trailer is 7025. So I thought that was kind of funny. But either way, we gotta slide the tandems first and then drop this one go on across the street to pick up our loading trailer. Have not released yet. Alright, let's go get this trailer unhooked. I wish the high gear on these was just a little bit like longer, or however you would describe it, to where each turn did more. It's just like not enough. It always takes way longer than I would want. Sweet. And just like every other time we've been here, we now have to deal with this nightmare of getting across, but actually, I think it's going to be a little easy this time. I guess it helps that I don't have a trailer. So, there is that part done. I was dreading that. I hate trying to get across that road, but that time, it was not bad. Now, the other thing I'm dreading is how terrible this parking lot is going to be, because it is very, very muddy. And last time I was over here, I was just picking up an empty. The last time I was over here, I almost stepped in human poop. So I'm really hoping that I don't do that this time. Like, don't even get close. I am very glad that I did not step in it. But I would like to just not have that even be something that is possible. Alright, 7025 is right behind us. Dropped very close to the trailer next to it, and I also did not get lined up very well. I also am curious what this car is doing. Seems a little sketchy. Super dark tinted windows. Very odd. That was super weird. Okay, let's see how we're looking. Ooh, not good. Not good at all. I gotta pull back forward and drop the trailer a little bit. It is up a little high. Alright, let's get out and drop the trailer a little bit. Even can, man, what a tight fit. Boy. Wow, this is awful. I hate this. so hard to even check to see if how we're doing. Let's see if we can get this thing into high gear and maybe... Nope. Certainly cannot. Alright. I guess we're gonna keep doing it this way. God, I hate this. This is hurting my back. So uncomfortable. That should be good enough. Maybe it wasn't. It didn't. You should feel the back of the truck kind of dip down, and I didn't feel that. It's so close, but I'm gonna drop it just a little more. There we go. That looks a lot better. All right, we are locked in. Thank goodness. All right, now I am going to go ahead and get the trailer all hooked up and pre-trip it, and I'm gonna put you guys down because I kept hitting you on the trailers and stuff when I tried to turn around because it's such a tight fit. So I don't want to mess up my GoPro, so I'm gonna set you guys down. We are loaded up and we are rolling. I unfortunately have to scale this load. It is literally like 1,000 pounds over the amount that requires us to scale. So if it's 25,000 or less, we don't have to scale. This load is like 26,400 or something like that. So unfortunately I do have to scale it, but that's okay because there's a scale like right along our route, so that should be pretty easy. Oh, I'm getting a call. Oh, and I missed it. All right, hang on, gotta call somebody back. Okay, we're all good. She just wanted to make sure, she had sent me a message that on our next trip, we are gonna be stopping at one of the May yards to do like essentially like a trailer count. Basically, I'm gonna go by, make a list of all the trailers that are in that yard, like what type of trailer they are, whether it be a dry van or a reefer. If it's a reefer, how much fuel does it have, like all that kind of stuff. So she was just making sure that I saw that and am okay with doing that, and I am. So especially because it's a very small lot. I was talking to my friend Bear, and he was saying that he's had to do it. They like keep asking him to do it, and they keep asking him at these lots that are like huge. So I'm very thankful that I at least don't have to do it at one of the really, really big lots. That is quite nice. But we are getting back onto I-5. We've got about 2.5, well, maybe 3 hours with traffic down to the Brooks yard, and then again I'm going to be spending the night in Brooks, and then getting up tomorrow and, you know, continuing on with the next load. But I think this load's going to be all that we're doing in this video. So I think that's all I got for now. I'll catch you guys if anything interesting goes on. This feels so ridiculous pulling onto a scale with a load that's 26,000 pounds, but here we are. Maybe I'll eat my words. Maybe all 26,000 pounds will be on the drives, and I'll be overweight. All right, let's see. Weighmaster is verifying information. They're probably like, dude, why is this guy on the scale? Yeah. Almost 10,000 pounds underweight on the drives, and a little over 5,000 pounds underweight on the trailer axle. So we're good. All right, on our way. We've got a train, some sort of grain train, headed southbound, same direction as us. And I think we're gonna get to the locomotives right as it's like getting right up next to the freeway. At least I hope so. But I guess we're gonna find out here in a minute. I don't know how long the train is, so I don't know for sure, but we are gonna find out. It is looking good so far, because I can see the locomotives up ahead. They're just on the curve, and he's not going super fast. Let's see if we can hear the train cars or anything. Oh, there's another train next to him. Are they both moving? Can't tell. I can't tell if the one on the other side of him is also moving and if it's moving the same direction, or if it's stopped, or if it's moving the opposite direction. I genuinely can't tell. Well, that's cool. 2 trains next to each other in a good spot, right where we're right next to the tracks. What do we have for power? It looks like Union Pacific. Yep. 3 Union Pacific locomotives. That is cool. And it does not appear as though the other train is moving. The other train, now that I have a good view of it, it does seem as though the other train is stopped. That's cool that we got to see one of them moving. And it does not have any locomotives on this end, this one that stopped. So it is set to go the other direction. I think it's actually waiting for that Union Pacific train that we just passed to clear, because that train, I could see the end of it, and it was coming across from one of the yards in Longview. So it was blocking both sets of tracks. So that's why that one, if it is supposed to go northbound, that's why that one is stopped, because it's got to wait. It's only been like 2 minutes, and we do have another train. This one is actually pulling into this big facility right here, this grain facility. It had 2 Canadian Pacific locomotives on the head end, and I would assume it's probably going to have some DPUs, but I don't know if we're going to be able to see them, because we kind of go away from the tracks a little bit here. Oh, we might be able to see off in the distance. It looks like it's got 1 rear DPU, and it looks like it's a Kansas City Southern unit. Yep, sure is. Nice. And then we're actually coming up to Kalama where, well, I guess we already are in Kalama, but we're coming up to a little siding area up ahead where this morning I didn't record it because I didn't think to, you know, by the time I saw what it was too late to grab my GoPro and start recording. But they did have some locomotives sitting in a little siding up here, and there was a KCS Gray Ghost in it, and it looks like it's still there. And I think we've actually seen this one here before. I don't know if it's the exact same one, but we have seen a Gray Ghost here before. Sure enough, is still there. So a normal Kansas City Southern unit, the Gray Ghost, and the Canadian Pacific unit. Pretty cool. Lots of good train related stuff in this one. Dude, that was maybe 20 seconds ago, and we've got 2 more trains. So there's another one on the other side of these auto racks that is northbound and is moving right now. And then there's this auto rack train that is stopped. So stuff is stacked up on this subdivision right now. Pretty crazy. It's another grain train, it looks like, that is northbound. That is wild. Man, these tracks are busy today. We are coming up to the head end of the auto rack train, the stopped train. Any cool power? Does not look like it. Just looks like 2 normal BNSF units. Still cool. Alright, we have parked successfully in Brooks, and that is going to do it for today's video. I have no idea what the next thing I'm going to record is going to be, but I hope that I will see you there. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as I always say. And hopefully, again, I will see you in that next video. Peace.